Hey guys, my name is Mohan and in this video we are going to discuss about some of the PC building tips which might be useful for you. Also, this is a nice color. So a few months back I built a gaming PC, and if you have not seen that video I'll link in the description or I'll put somewhere here. So the PC which I built, this is my first gaming PC, and I had zero idea and zero knowledge of what are the things I will be needing and what are the stuff I need to buy, how to research and all those things. So we are going to discuss about all those points, and hopefully this might be useful for you guys if you want to build a PC, no matter like what purpose. So let's get into it. So first thing we are going to discuss about is like what's the purpose of building a PC. So for me personally, I wanted to build a powerful PC which can play like all the AAA games with high settings. Plus, I should be able to stream those games at 1080p 60 frames per second, whether in Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook gaming, all those fun stuff. And also I wanted to run all these photo and video editing softwares like Lightroom, Photoshop, like Premiere Pro, After Effects, and all those things in parallel. That's the basic reason like why I wanted to build a powerful PC, like all in one. Like I should be able to do everything in one PC. So just ask yourself why you want to build a PC, and we can go to the next step. So once you decided like you want to build a PC, just for example, let's say gaming and streaming. So now what you want to do is, the second point is just watch a YouTube video. I know it sounds cliche, but just watch any of these YouTube videos. Like there are like a lot of popular tech creators in YouTube. You can just go and watch a video of building a PC. So the main reason why I'm telling you to watch these videos is like you'll have a general idea of what are all the things you need in order to build a PC, because that was the first thing I did when I had an idea like, okay, let's build a PC. So since now you have a basic idea of what are all the things you need, the components, and where to buy them, how to assemble and all the stuff, like now let's talk about the next thing, which is budget. If you're building a PC for the first time, just think of long term, like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. Like you don't have to like like go really strict on budget like when you're building a PC for the first time, and you have to like keep on upgrading like in 2 years, maybe the next year. Like if you want like, okay, my PC is not doing good, like it's slow, maybe I need to like upgrade the RAM, or maybe I need to change the CPU. So you are spending like additional amount of money 2 years down the line, so it catches up. So why not just have a budget, and let's say if you have a budget of $1,000, then just have an additional like $500 on top of it, so that you can build yourself a high-end PC which will last 10 years without any upgrade. In some scenario, if you feel like, okay, this doesn't work, you can do it, but you at least will have a peace of mind, like you built a PC which can do all of those stuff. So that was the mindset which I had when I built my PC. For example, like I should be able to play all the AAA games in max settings without compromising any of these, performance. So I should be able to do that simultaneously. Like I should be able to stream with higher settings like 1080p 60 frames per second on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. Like primarily I stream on Twitch, you can check it out. All right, so that all the things I had in mind when I built this PC. Of course, like it will run all the like the video editing and photo editing softwares as well, like the Adobe Lightroom, Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere Pro, obviously. That's where like I had a budget. Like I won't be going extra crazy on spending, like let's say $3,000 or $4,000, but I had a specific like $2,000. So if it exceeds $2,000, I'll be like, maybe I need to compromise on few things, maybe get rid of RGBs, because that doesn't make my PC run any faster. Well, it will look good, but if you are having like performance in mind, then you can compromise on the aesthetics. So it's up to you, like if you want like performance or aesthetics. So based upon that one, just have a perfect balance so that you don't have to upgrade your PC in the next 2 years or 4 years and all the stuff. So bottom line is, like if you are willing to spend $1,000, just have like extra $200 $300 on top of it, just in case. Okay, So that's how I set up my budget, and it worked perfectly for me. So hopefully this will work for you as well. So at this point, you know what's the purpose of building your PC, and you have a basic idea of how to assemble and what are all the components you need. You have set up your budget, and now we are going to research for the parts, like what sort of RAM you need, what sort of graphics card you are looking for, like power supply unit, what sort of CPU, motherboard, and all those fun stuff. So the best way to research for your parts is go to pcpartpicker.com. Here you can like choose all the components you need, and it will like show you the budget. Okay, if you're choosing these parts, this will be your budget. If you're choosing this will be your budget. So in that way you can modify, you can play around the CPU, GPU, motherboard, and all those things based upon your needs and budget. So that is really a good way of mentally like visualize yourself, like what are the parts you'll be needing and what will be the budget. So what I usually do in PC Part Picker is I, instead of picking like motherboard, CPU, and RAM and all those things by myself, I go to one of the like already pre-built PC, and I just like look for all these configurations. So the PC Part Picker website is really the best way to visualize what are all the parts you are going to need and whether it fits your budget or not. And based upon that one, you can do all the maths and correlation, and you are now ready to buy all those parts. So now let's talk about the aesthetic, what you're going for. So if you want, you can go for NGXT case, like the NGXT, all the fans, NGXT cooling unit. I believe the NGXT Kraken is one of the liquid cooler which they have, and you can go for all of the cables just to have a one aesthetic like NZXT what you are going for. If you want to go ahead with Corsair, it's up to you. If you want to go ahead with ASUS, it's up to you. But the way I designed my PC was based upon like I want this graphics card, okay, I want these RAMs, I want this CPU cooling unit, like those kind of all the mixture came. And when I was choosing for the case, okay, I want this specific NGXT case. In that way, like you can have a really customized build based upon like your needs. So let's take my example. I have the NGXT case, NGXT RGB fans. So let's talk about other parts like the RAM, the CPU cooler, and the power supply is all Corsair. So for the motherboard, I have the ASUS ROG Strix, and the GPU I have the NVIDIA 3080 AORUS Extreme. So in that way, like I have like all sort of brands mixed up into one case. So that is perfectly fine. Like in some scenarios, you'll have to install more than one software if you want to fully utilize that particular, functionality. In most cases, it's the lighting, and if you want to change the speed of the fans and all those stuff. So don't be afraid to explore all the options and combine all the brands, like different brands for each parts, and make it your own customized gaming PC. But also like make sure like all of these parts are really compatible with each other. In my case, so the LCD display on my graphics card was not compatible if I run the Corsair software. So in order to fully utilize or to see the information such as the FPS or how much temperature my graphics card is using and all those things, so I have to uninstall the Corsair IQ software so that I should be able to see all this information in my graphic card. So that's one sort of problem you have to keep in mind. Like all of the parts which you choose, like they should be compatible with each other whenever you run all these simultaneous softwares. So just like that's a minor setback if you are going for so many brands and customizing based upon your need. But if you like compromise on few things, then it's perfectly fine. Like you don't have to worry about choosing a specific brand or any of those. So go explore and you'll be fine for your first build. So now you have all the parts, whatever you need to build a PC, and you are all excited and like you are referring a YouTube video to build one. That is perfectly fine. So now what you need to do is, for the motherboard, like if you are bought an ASUS ROG Strix motherboard and the YouTube video which you are referring to, they are using some other motherboard. So in that case, what I'm going to suggest is like to refer to your motherboard manual like thoroughly. You don't have to like go each page, but whenever you are connecting some of the components, like you're not sure like where the SSD slot is, so if you're not sure like where the power supply pin will be connected to the 12 pin, or if you need to connect both 12 pin and the 8 pin to the power supply, from the power supply to the motherboard, so just all those information you won't find like any of the YouTube videos you are referring, unless like you are using the same motherboard. I was referring to one of the Linus Tech Tip videos where he used the ASUS TUF Gaming, but I was using the ASUS ROG Strix. At that point, the only reference I had was the manual. So the manual is very crucial and important like whenever you are building a PC. So now let's go over to our next point, the CPU cooler. So if you're using a CPU cooler just with the fan, you are perfectly fine. But if you're using a CPU liquid cooler, in this case I was using the Corsair H500i, I believe. That's the liquid cooler version I was using, and I was really not sure at like where I was going to place the radiator, whether it will be at the front or it will be at the top. So I had no idea. So before installing a liquid cooler, just make sure like you already visualize yourself. So I'll be placing the radiator in front of the panel, or I'll be placing the radiator at the top of the panel. So in my case, I placed the radiator when I was building my PC. If you watch the video, like I'll be placing the cooler in front of the panel, and then like after a few days I realized like all the fans are pushing air outside, but none of the fans are pulling the air from outside to inside. So that is one of the points you want to make sure like where you want to place your radiator when you're building a PC. So now you have like all the setup ready and you are excited to turn the PC on. So this is the most crucial and nervous situation like everyone will be facing, like just to turn on the PC which you have built for the first time. So let me give you my example. So when I turned on the PC for the first time, it did not turn on. Everything was connected perfectly, but when I was turning on the PC, like the fan will be like moving slightly, and then that's it. Nothing was like happening, and I didn't know like what was wrong. The main problem which I faced issue was like I had the 12 pin and the 8 pin connected to the motherboard, because I referenced one of the videos where he connected both 24s. I keep on saying 12 pins, right? It's 24 pins. Okay, so where he connected 24 pins and 8 pins from the power supply to the motherboard. But in my case, like in case of like ASUS ROG Strix, you don't have to connect the 8-pin power supply to your motherboard. I didn't knew that. So like after like 2-3 hours of research and all those things, I just like, why don't remove the 8-pin and see like if it works or not. And it worked. Hopefully you don't have to face the issue which I faced, but if you do face like some of these scenarios where your PC doesn't turn on for the first time, just make sure like everything is connected properly and you should be good. This video is more or less like to give you a general idea and prepare yourself like before building a new PC, because these are all the problems I faced when I was building one, and I spent like hours and hours trying to figure it out what went wrong. So hopefully this video will help you in having that mindset and do a proper research before diving all in, like in building a PC. Anyways, like I'm perfectly happy with the build I made. Like it's running smooth. I didn't had any issues so far apart from the ones which I had like when I started the PC. Okay, after installation of Windows and all those things, I didn't had any issues. As I mentioned before, like one thing was the GPU being not compatible with the Corsair software. I have covered that in another video as well, like how to fix that. So if you ended up buying the AORUS Extreme GeForce 3080 graphics card, so check out that video. Like it will be helpful to fix the LCD display on your PC. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you've learned something useful. Remember, like PC building is a lot of fun. I was a beginner, and when I was building this PC for the first time, I was nervous, and the research and all those things, and hours of time spent on troubleshooting and all those things. So if you are a beginner and watching this video, this is just to prepare you for the mindset and all the things when it comes to building a PC. So let me know in the comments if you have any specific question. If you are having some issues, leave a like button and also subscribe. Like, this channel is mainly focused on all the filmmaking, photography, like tech and vlogging and all this fun stuff. So till then, take care.